So could you give me some examples of the kind of data or the kind of things that can be learnt about somebody just from the stuff that we need in our trail, as you
there's a recent survey, quite an interesting one, done by Cambridge University and Microsoft on Facebook, and it was all to do with Facebook likes. So you go onto Facebook, and if you like something, you say, I like that. And the survey's quite interesting. What they said is, based on looking at what people like, you can, over time, say whether they're male, female, what sort of age they are, whether they've got children, what their favourite football team is. And that. So you can build up a profile. The person doesn't even know about it. They've just been looking at likes. And you can quite accurately predict that, this person lives in this area. And so you built their personality traits, which ultimately is what a marketeer's dream is, just by looking at likes. And that's an example of, so you haven't consented to that. You haven't given them any data that you know of, but they can accurately predict who you are by your digital trail.
Yeah.
Right. But is that wrong?
I think it's wrong in that you should consent to that.
Okay, so
yeah. You should say to Facebook, I'm happy for you to do that, because and most of the marketeers will say, we do it because it's going to benefit you. Okay, we will give you a better product. We will find, by analysing all the data in the world, we will find, guess what, we'll find a cure for cancer or something because we can analyse this.
Yeah,
but the reality is, you're doing it because for commercial gain.
Yeah. But let me turn it around slightly. You pick on the likes of Facebook, and I don't see any wrong in Facebook having a profile of what I do. I see the wrong for them using it.
Yes.
So it's like Facebook finding the way I behave relates to my interest in motorcycles. So I get more feeds about motorcycles. I love it.
Yeah.
They're not selling the information. They're not breaking any privacy law. Yeah, they're doing an insight and analysis to better enhance my journey when I'm on their website. I have an issue with Facebook selling it.
Yes.
And trying to make commercial gain from it.
So suddenly you get an advert from my Harley Davidson because they know you like motorbikes.
So sure, but that's selling insight, is it, or selling individual? That's selling insight.
The issue will be Facebook will go to Harley Davidson and say, we could, based on the profile of the Harley Davidson user, we could sell you this. That would be valuable to you.
Sure.
And so therefore they would then do target marketing
and
to
then
yourself.
I require consent.
Yes.
So then the insight itself is not a problem. Selling it to make commercial.
But why are Facebook gathering that data anyway? If it wasn't for the fact that they are going to ultimately go to
there's a rule of thumb, I think, now with the internet and any social, particularly in social media, that if the service is free, then you are the raw material.
Yes.
You are not the customer.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that when you go in. Any free service, you've got to then find out, well, how are they funding?
But I think that's got to be transparent. I think it's fine to say to a Facebook to say, look, you've got a free service. We will collect liked data and we may use that. And then you can sign up and say, actually, I'm quite happy for you to use that. Mm-hmm. I'm quite happy for you to target market based on that. As long as you keep it secure, and as long as you let me know who's got access to it, I'm quite happy to sign up.
Drawing on Brian's original question, the level of assurance that can now be driven from social media data in particular, because that's been pumped into the public domain. Many of the consent issues have gone away because it's treated as public domain data. There are now companies offering trusted identity services because there is so much out there that they've calculated how hard it would be to fraudulently create that identity, and therefore they can assign a fraud value to it. It would take 10,000 working hours to create this persona and manage them over a year. Therefore, we know that we can give a certain level of trust. And actually just recently in the States I saw that there are credit companies willing to make their lending decision based upon your social media networks. So that if you are someone who has a good network of reliable, credit-worthy friends, the odds are that you're reliable and credit-worthy yourself.
Okay, well that's an interesting upside then, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's the level of trust they're now willing to put in this.
Yes.
It's going to be highly disruptive for the big data companies in the form of the consumer intelligence market, because they're going to have to respond to that with these data silos they already have.
If they have that level of trust in the data, then they must have perhaps more data than we expect that they would have, even those of us that know about it.
But that's the key. Everybody does. They're collecting everything. They collect everything. Any GPS information on your phone, anything. And it's this digital trail. Everything you're doing is being collected.
So